from Maine Reef Founders.
Well, it would work, but that's not the one that's not the legal phrase. It's the most common thing. Yeah, it is. Something very frequent.
Welcome. You know, the Tea Party is doing pretty good these days, don't you think? Think maybe the establishment is a little freaked out, maybe? They should be freaked out. The whole establishment all together. Republicans, Democrats, it don't matter. The establishment needs to be removed, needs to be replaced, and they need to be told that they work for us, we the people. You know, I went to the Restoring Honor rally a couple of weeks ago. It was one of the most moving experiences I ever had in my life. There was, I don't know, a couple dozen people there. And it's amazing how the media covered this whole thing. I think CBS said we had like 87,000 people there. I've never seen a crowd so large in my whole life. My second time in Washington, D.C. for large events. And, you know, if that's 87,000 people, I don't know what's going on. I do know that that thing was, so far it's tied as the 5th largest event ever to be held in Washington, D.C. ever. It is also the largest event ever held by an individual. You know, it was like spending the weekend with 1 million family members. The energy was in the air. It was incredible. Truth was everywhere. There was those evil acts of random kindness breaking out all over the place. People helping each other, people doing whatever they could, talking to everybody like you knew them, like your whole life. It was amazing. What we are witnessing here is we are witnessing the beginning of the end of the establishment. Politics as we know it is coming to an end. Yeah. The Tea Party has become a force, and they will start listening to we the people. Yeah. It is that simple. The people are no longer thinking right and left. We're thinking right and wrong. We must continue to stand on our principles and our values. We must hold our elected officials. They are not leaders. They are officials elected by us. We must hold them to the very same standards that we hold ourselves to. We must live those standards. We must breathe those standards. We must continue to push our principles, our Constitution, our laws. We must push that. We must be relentless. We must not give up. You know, the more that we stand with others, you're going to find the more are going to stand with us. That's the way to do it. We continue spreading the word. Spread the word. Wake up the people. You know, Thomas Jefferson said, to preserve our independence, we must not let our rulers load us with perpetual debt. Do you think maybe they're doing that? Yeah. You know, my grandson is here today. His name is Louis. He's over there. My daughter Joanna over in the tent over there. And it really bothers me that the money that our officials are spending today, that we are spending today, is going to have to be paid for by him. And it is most likely going to be paid for by his children. That is not fair. That is not right. And we must not allow that to happen. I don't know what it is about these people in Washington and up at the State House and all over the place, how they can't figure out that, hey, we're broke. We must stop this spending. We have no choice. We have to stop it. We have to make some very tough choices ahead. We're all going to have to make some sacrifices. We allowed this to happen to our country. We did it. We can all blame the politicians all you want. Point the fingers. Everybody's starting to sound like a bunch of liberals, for crying out loud. It's not my fault. It's his fault. It's her fault. It's their fault. No. Get up in the morning, look at the mirror and say, what did I do? Why did I allow this to happen? It is our fault. We must get up off of the couch, get out, get involved.
Amen.
We can no longer sell out. We have been selling out. Selling out is exactly what has ruined our nation. I don't care about party politics anymore. It doesn't mean anything to me. It shouldn't mean anything to anybody. The only thing that I am interested in is context of character. Are these people willing to stand up on their principles and their values? If so, then I will stand behind them. I don't care who they are. It's time that all these politicians understand that they work for me. They work for you. And they will do what we tell them to do, or they will become irrelevant. We have to be better people than the people we have allowed ourselves to become. We need to ask ourselves, what do we believe? We need to ask ourselves, who am I? You know, that's a tough question. We want our leaders to be the same that we are. We want them to start representing us. You know, when you get like-minded people together, we can change the world. That's quite obvious. The last couple of years since this movement's been growing, we've been growing and growing and growing. Just look at everything that's been going on around the whole state. Right. Look, around the state, everything that's been going around the whole nation. Tea Party movement is growing. We have candidates that are supposedly don't even have a chance that are winning with overwhelming numbers. And yet we still have the establishment that kind of casts them aside. Look at O'Donnell in Delaware.
Yeah.
She steps up to the plate. People get up there. People go out and vote for her. And then what the hell does the GOP do? First thing in the morning they say, we're not going to support you. And then their phones melt off the lines and they do a complete backpedal. Well, maybe we changed our mind. We need to stop these kind of games from happening. It needs to stop. It needs to stop now. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Are you willing to stand up?
Yes.
I mean, are you really willing to make the sacrifices that are needed to be made to fix this nation?
Yes.
You know, I'm rather angry right now.
No.
I've been angry for a couple of years. I don't know if you noticed the tone of my voice or not. But I take this as a complete assault and attack on my family. My family is being attacked, and I hold my family very, very high, and I will defend them against any and all enemies. Right now, our enemies are our so-called leaders. They are destroying our nation. They're spending us into oblivion. They completely ignore us. Our own personal liberties don't mean anything to them. They're throwing them away. You know, there's one thing that we can do with our congressmen and our senators. You know, there's this act called the Enumerated Powers Act. It's called H.R. 450. Do you realize this act has been put out onto the floor? Has been put into committee every single year since 1994. It has never made it out of committee to go onto the floor for a vote. You know, it's pretty simple. I know it's difficult for these people to understand because it's only like one paragraph long. They're used to, you know, reading bills that are several thousand. Oh, wait a minute. They don't read these bills. Anyways, it basically, all it says, you've got a piece of legislation, you need to point out where in the Constitution that adheres to. Pretty basic, pretty simple, considering all of our leaders swear, they take an oath to defend and uphold the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. You would think that every single one of them would be happy to jump on board, become a co-sponsor, and make this happen. But do they? No, can't even get out of committee. We need to stop pounding on these people. We need to start telling them that this game is over because I am not playing it anymore. It is that simple. This nation was devised by our founding fathers to be ruled by we, the people. It's time that we, the people, start taking control, getting this thing done. You know, Thomas Jefferson also said this other great quote that I love. All tyranny needs to gain a foothold is for people of good conscience to remain silent. That's exactly what we have done. We have remained silent, and they are tearing us apart. America as we know it is rapidly disappearing. Our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, if we do not step up to the plate and start making things happen around here and correct this, they're not going to be living in the America that we live in today. They're not going to be living in the America that we grew up in. And this needs to stop. So please, everybody, get involved, stand up, let's start looking at people because of their character. Let's stop looking at people because of their party affiliation, because it really doesn't mean crap. It's very difficult to distinguish the difference between a Republican and a Democrat today. Very, very difficult. The line is real, real thin. We need to hold these people accountable. So are you with me?
You!
Will you start spreading the word?
Yes!
We have numerous groups all over the state. MaineRefounders.org, MainePatriots.com, many, many others. The Cumberland County Tea Party, which is an offshoot of both of our groups. We need to continue to spread the word. Get involved. Become members. When you read discussions, you post discussions, make sure that you share it with all of your friends. There is a link to Twitter accounts. There is a link to Facebook accounts. You can link it. The key is to spread the word, get the word out as much as possible. Start holding our officials accountable and look at their character, not their party. God bless you, and God bless America.